becoming an Origins trainer, while doing home office Fridays, while doing workshops, while helping out the district. And it's really just nice to see him on this journey. And I know he's going to have a lot of fun doing it today. If y'all could refrain from clapping or cheering during the competition, he'd really appreciate it. That way he can really focus on the craft and presenting to you guys and the judges. Sean decided to choose Coffee Kids. If he does win, he's going to donate his $1,000 to Coffee Kids. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, Coffee Kids is an organization. I'll read their little mission statement that we've contributed to, I believe, Anniversary Blend, I want to say, previously, and maybe a couple others in the past. We give TechnoServe a lot of credit, but don't talk a lot about Coffee Kids. So their mission is collaborating with the next generation of coffee farmers to realize their full potential as part of the global coffee community. Coffee Kids provides training, mentoring, and financial support to young coffee farmers so they can implement creative solutions to the challenges they face in changing the coffee industry. And it's kind of funny because that's exactly what Sean does. So I think it's a great symbiotic relationship for being able to donate to that. And without further ado, let's get this going. And here's Sean Randall from Lafayette.
Thanks, Sean. Sean, I just want to say, since we've been doing this, I think I counted 19 messages from the district. Just wanted to give you a shout out and props. They couldn't be here because they're working in our fabulous coffee bar. So thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Check. All right, get the music rolling. Just give me a thumbs up or something, Matt. It's going. Let's do it. All right. All right, cool. Time. Hey, my name is Sean. I'm a barista and a shift lead at Peet's Coffee Bar of Lafayette. Here today to talk to you about some of my passions and about my crafts. We're going to be serving some of a Barista blend as the espresso today. It has a really great lemon forward acidity on it, and then it kind of has a little bit of a sweetness in the center, and then finishes off not quite as bitter as, say, our espresso forte or something that we usually have as a dark roast. But I think it's a really, really great single shot of espresso, and about to get rolling on that in just a sec for you folks. All right, I like to have a glass of sparkling water nearby when I drink my espresso. Thank you. And you're welcome to do what you want with that. There's no specific instructions. I just like to have it nearby, personal preference. But the Brie blend, really great. In terms of the color, it starts to kind of have like a little bit more of like a orangish tinge to it than, say, our espresso forte, you could say. But I think it delivers a really great cup, and I think you'll all agree with me on that one. All right. These aren't really clean. Sorry, I'm gonna just pull a fast one and swap those out because these are not meeting our standards. Whew. All right, sorry about the interruption there, folks. Let's get this started. But the Barista is a fantastic combination of washed coffees. It has a bit of Ethiopian, Rwanda, and Kenya in there. It delivers a really nice cold brew. They actually reinvented it to be our cold brew when we relaunched it. And then it also has a little bit of Latin American components as well. But that one's a little bit of a secret, so I will not be sharing it with you. Alrighty. But I don't really have any particular instructions with this espresso. Just enjoy it how you normally would. When I get an espresso shot, I like to drink it right away. So I encourage that, but it's really up to you in the long run there. Alrighty. Thank you, Emily. Enjoy. Thank you so much, Rosa. Thank you, Loretta. And thank you, Patrick. Hope you guys like those. I'm going to get started on some traditional cappuccinos. The interesting thing about burriti is I found that when preparing to standard for a traditional cappuccino, it doesn't exactly make my favorite flavor profile. So I'm actually going to be using two different coffees today. I'm going to be using the Espresso Forte for the traditional cappuccino section. I find that when balanced with milk, it brings out a really nice sweetness in the front end. And then you get the rich creaminess of the whole milk that I'm using. And then it finishes off nice and earthy with a little bit of spice at the tail end of it, you could say. Get started on that here. Oof. But I actually spent a really long time kind of trying to find the perfect milk to balance with the Espresso Forte. I was trying different varieties of clover milk, organic, non-organic, moved on to Strauss milk. But I found that the texture of it was a little interesting due to it not being homogenized. The milk itself kind of separated from time to time, and it doesn't really reach a desirable result on that end. So I actually contacted Strauss and found a way to get some of their Barista series milk. And that's what I'm going to be presenting for you today. This milk was specifically formulated to create a really rich balance of espresso and milk, as well as just make a really great microfoam. And that's kind of really the reason I chose it. The first time I initially took a sip, the microfoam was amazing. It just had a completely different feel to it. And I hope you end up liking it. The folks at Strauss are really serious about what they do, and I can tell that they're all about craft, just like we are at Peet's. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Enjoy. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Rosa. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to get started on a few more of those. Oh, yeah, thanks. Just going to rinse these out real quick. All right, sweet. All right. The great thing about this milk, too, is they use all fully organic ingredients. The cows actually feed on sweet grasses of the Marin and Sonoma County, and they pay sustainable wages to the farmers growing the dairy. So there's a lot of great things going on with Strauss, and I really think that when paired with our Espresso Forte, it makes just like a really great flavor balance, and like I was saying, a really great foam. The latte art itself doesn't really vary too much. It was actually a little harder for me getting used to it, but after going through maybe, I don't know, 6 bottles of milk or so, it started to click. Thank you so much, Loretta. Hope you like that one. Traditional cappuccino being easily my favorite milk-based drink to make. It's just been a lot of fun to try to learn and develop and master. And it's just so cool to be able to pour something into such a small cup. Alrighty. Thank you, Patrick. Enjoy. All right, moving on to the signature beverage round. This one was definitely a little bit of a beast for me to tackle. It was easily where I spent like 90% of my time, you could say. But after quite some time, I just really realized how much effort Rosa and Patrick put into making all of our drinks, and how much effort all the folks at the roasting plant, the green coffee team, all these departments that are pioneering our beverages put into everything. It takes countless trials, trying multiple versions of the same ingredients, trying to really master the flavor profiles, and really just getting something that's balanced is the trickiest aspect. Getting flavors to hold hands, as Rosa would say, was like by far the most difficult thing for me. I originally started with strawberry syrup and spent quite some time trying to add a binding flavor to it, but I never actually found something that worked. Never found something to make the drinks hold hands, you could say. And at that point, I just threw it out and just started over with a completely new syrup. This one's going to be a raspberry base with a little bit of mandarin orange in it. The flavor profile, when mixed with whole milk, prepared cortado style, has a really nice sweetness from the raspberries and the sugar, as well as a little bit. I got a little bit of a present for you all too, but a little bit of a recipe card in case you ever want to do it. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. But pardon me. Sorry, guys. If you could, yeah, for sure. Just going to I guess leave that there for now. But yeah, the sweetness of the raspberries and the sugar start out on the front end, and then it moves into this really nice kind of mint-based flavor, you could say, just based on the mint syrup that I also made. I'm going to be kind of combining the two and then incorporating it with 2 espresso shots of espresso forte. And this mint syrup's really strong stuff, so I'm really just lining the edges of the cups with it, and it's going to be all we will need. Excuse me while I rinse these out real quick. The flavor profile ends up really nice because, as I mentioned, it starts with the raspberry, moves on into the sugary sweetness, a little bit of creaminess, and then eventually finishes off with a really nice lingering mint kind of spice note from the mint and the espresso forte. A little bit of complexity and maybe a slight earthiness included. But the signature beverage has been so much fun to make. It's really made me focus on what craft is and what flavor balance is and what taste is. Just really something that I didn't have as much experience in. At the coffee bars, we have a set line. We have all of our coffee blends chosen. We have the drinks that are amazing and the folks come up with, but really just trying to put my tasting skills to the test, and my creativity was a whole new thing for me, something completely different I had never done before. And then from here, we're going to be building this little cortado. I'm going to be stirring each one just to incorporate the syrup together. I tend to like my drinks a little on the foamy side, so I kind of switched it out from being 1/8 of an inch of a foam to a little bit more than that, about 1/4 or less, depending on how you enjoy it. But anyway, my goal today is to present something new to you, something that you may decide to just make at your home. I know you all have access to espresso machines, and hopefully you like it. Thank you, Emily. This drink's just going to be served on the warm side too. I prefer almost the entirety of all my beverages not steamed too hot. Thank you so much, Rosa. All right, I'm just gonna prep these real quick and get a few more going. But this drink, you could say, tied together everything I've learned on this journey. Everything from the flavor profile of the coffee beans to just like the flavor profile of milk, which is something I never really thought about that much leading up to the events. And then really just trying to find the delicate balance of these flavors pairing has been so much fun. It's been an exhilarating process. And I really just want to learn more and try to develop new flavors. I was fortunate enough to see one of our roasters, Mike, actually roasting some of the Barista at the roasting plant. That was a very eye-opening process. Got to speak with John and a few other people over there, and I really just got to see how meticulous they are about everything they do. And I'm honestly just fascinated with the process. Everyone at Peet's is so serious about their craft. It's really just an amazing thing. Alrighty, sorry for the lopsided design there. Thank you so much, Loretta. Hope you like that one. Anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I'm so excited to share my passion and my craft with you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. I believe this may be an apple for you there, Patrick. Alrighty, time, guys.
All right, nice job, Sean. You made it really hard for us because I really wanted to clap, and you asked us not to. So one more time, let's just give it up for Sean. All right, so next up, we have a tasting from Tina and Melissa. Are they ready to burst into the room with some drama? They're not? Okay. Okay, hang on for 2 seconds because, yes, sir. We have to do a what? A picture. Okay. Whatever you. DLs. It's
first date. You and me is thrifty, so all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up your plate. We talk for hours and hours about sweet and sour and how your family's doing okay. Leaving you in a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. Thinking like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love is handmade for somebody like me. Coming down from my knee. I may be crazy, don't mind me saying, well, let's not talk too much. Up on my waist and put that body on me. Coming down from my knee. Coming down from my knee. I'm in love with the shape of you. Push and pull like a magnet do. With my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in the room. And now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. 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 Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. Come on, be my baby. Come on, be my baby. Come on, be my baby.
All right, folks, we're gonna. No, thank you. All right, that's a nice way to kick it off. So we are getting ready for our next competitor, Jeffrey. First, we're going to watch Jeffrey's video, and then Gary and Sarah are going to come up and do a quick intro. So I'm just going to kick it over to Joe one more time. Thank you, Joe.
I started my journey with Peet. It's come close to 5.5 years. It was more of like what I thought was gonna be like a temporary position at that time, just kind of a transient job. But then I ended up loving what I did, and here I am. So the commitment to my craft really aligns with kind of continuing the vision that Alfred Peet had when he first started his business. What makes me want to strive to continue to develop my role as like someone that works at Peet's Coffee is to carry on that tradition and also give it to customers. Because when customers come in every day, there's been customers that have been, they've been there for decades, and it's home for them. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, you're part of that. It's funny because when I first started to think of a signature beverage, it just nothing was coming to me. It just wasn't hitting me, and then I just had to like take a step back. Recently, I kind of started to get more in touch with my culture, with like my Filipino culture. So that was the brink. That's when I thought like I'm gonna make a Filipino inspired drink. My barista superpower that I have would be changing someone's day. I know that's kind of cliche. I mean, it's kind of, but when you have some customers, they're just like they're just having like a rough day. They spend 15 minutes just to go out of their way to, get a cup of coffee, and then 15 minutes back. You don't know what's going on with their day, but you have that 3 seconds. Bam, here's your drink, and it's the most beautiful drink, and then you just see a smile on their face.
Torrey Highlands, which is where.
Ooh.
So Jeffrey's grateful to us right now because you are looking at two very nervous people in front of crowds, and we've absorbed all of his nerves. Jeffrey meditates regularly. That's what he was doing a little earlier. So two of our core values that come to mind when I think of Jeffrey. One of them is mastery. So you're looking at someone who is in his second career. In his first career, you may have seen him on a Polaroid film box. What year would that have been?
2012.
2012. Or you may have also seen him on Germany's Next Top Model. All right.
I was background.
Yeah. The other one is growth. So Jeffrey has told me before that his original love for coffee was Folgers. And then he came to Peet's and came to really appreciate what real coffee is. He is currently an Origins trainer. And of course, now he is a competitor in our barista competition. So what would you like to ask?
Jeffrey, we love you. We're so proud of you. Everyone at Torrey is watching. They're cheering you on. Got the projector up. Hi, Torrey.
Hi,
We're
Torrey.
rooting for you.
Thank you.
All right. Give it up for Jeffrey.
Sorry. Okay. 4 more counts. Now, isn't it something that we can brew an infinite amount of coffee, and there's always someone out there that needs their cups to be filled? I mean, when we think about it, like, Alfred Peet has brought so many cultures to us, and every day that I walk through the doors of our store, I need my cups to be filled. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Emily, Rosa, Loretta, Patrick. Thank you guys. It's a big privilege to be here today. My name is Jeffrey, and like it's been mentioned before, I've been with Peet for about 5 years. And 5 years ago, I thought this was just a transient job, just work to pass time. But when you start to develop an intense admiration for everything that you do, there's nothing that's pulling you to work. It's just a vision, and that vision is something that's given from like my esteemed coworkers and customers that are short-term and long-term, along with the vision of the man whose name we see when we walk through the doors every single day. And I'm going to tell you a story a little bit. So after coming to work at his father's roastery and then working in London as a coffee tea apprentice, furthering doing the tea expertise in Indonesia, a man by the name of Alfred Peet opened his first coffee bar in 1966. So since then, that little corner store on the corner of Vine and Walnut Street has transgressed into the eponymous brand that we know that shapes the gourmet coffee, world as we know it. In an effort to give you guys a little taste of the relationship that I've had with coffee over the years, pun intended, I'm going to be serving you guys a total of 3 drinks. So the first drink that we're going to do is a single shot of espresso served demi-tasse. The second drink is going to be traditional cappuccino. That's a classic Peet's drink. It's about 6 ounces. And then the final drink is going to be my signature drink. I'm going to get back to that in just a bit. So let's pour each of you one of these. All right. So for my coffee, the only choice I could do is to bring it back, and I mean way back. We're going to bring it back to the birthplace of coffee. The birthplace of coffee can be traced back to the Kaba province in Abyssinia, but although you guys may now know it as Ethiopia. So the Ethiopian coffee is what I believe is going to be the true essence of African coffees. They originally thought it was going to be kind of sacrilegious. I mean, it's kind of like scary, but obviously we've got its power today. All right, so I'm gonna get myself prepared for these shots, and then I did offer you guys some shots, some Pellegrino. I would like you guys to have that just so you can cleanse your palate, and then further taste the espresso once I offer it to you.
So what I'm doing here is I'm going to add 9 to 10 bars of atmospheric pressure into some very, very finely ground coffee. Some 2 advisories that I really want to give you guys is that even though it's a very small ounce drink, it is not homogeneous drink. Besides it's 1 ounce, basically what it is, it's 2 layers. The top layer is called the crema. That's going to be an integration of coffee oils, solids, along with, so those 2 along with the flavor. And the bottom's going to be the liquid, which is the water and the dissolved coffee solids. So let's get this going. And then right after to you guys, if you could just take those little spoons that you've got, give it about 3 laps. So that way you can integrate the 2 layers together. Enjoy it within about 10 seconds. So that way the chlorogenic acids that are inside of it don't oxidize. And what that causes is a really bitter taste. And I would love for you guys to try it at its highest peak. This coffee was roasted on 924. Visually, you're going to be getting like kind of like a darker hazelnut look to it. Oops. Sorry, let me give you your cups. Enjoy. That one's a little bit more lighter. This one has more of the hazelnut flecking. And the flavor you should get is kind of like a cherry rind with like a very good like lemon rind citrus to it. But the overall flavor is very deep and delicious. I hope you guys enjoy. So now for my next drink, I'm going to do the traditional cappuccino. Like I said before, this is a classic Peet's beverage, 6 ounces. It's going to be a very delicious, harmonious blend of espresso, steamed milk, and milk foam. It's going to be about 6 ounces. And with this, I'm going to use 2% milk. It's going to really complement like the berry notes to the Ethiopian Fancy without masking it too much from the fat. What it's also going to do is going to kind of give it like a berry cream flavor. So that's kind of what I want to offer you guys today as far as a flavor profile for my traditional cappuccino. So I'm going to get started on that. Yes. Now, like Gary mentioned, I'm an origins trainer. Thank you. I'm an origins trainer. And what I tell the students is that a traditional cappuccino is probably the highest barometer of barista dexterity. And also, it's really tests your coffee knowledge and flavor profile. So let's get going with that. Hottie. I am going to start with 2 at a time. I want you guys to enjoy these within 30 seconds to get a nice cloud-like mouthfeel. Now what I'm doing here is I'm creating a rich microfoam. The proteins are surrounding the bubbles that I'm steaming in, while the long chain sugars are breaking down into simpler sugars, and that way they caramelize, making the drink a lot more dessert-like. Breathe, Jeffrey, breathe. We introduced latte art a few years ago. The standard was hearts, but I'm going to do tulips. Florals are very in the season. Enjoy, Emily. Thank you. Let me just put this one away. Could I have my time, please? Thank you. Patrick and Loretta, don't worry, I'm on my way to you. What is my time? Thank you. Ooh. Loretta, I'm going to give you 4 layers because you are the birthday girl. Patrick, I'm coming right to you. So as I start with Patrick's drink, which just repping my skills for, I'm going to talk about my signature drink. Now, it took a long while to compile a signature drink, and then it came to me. I mean, look at our bean menu. Look at how many cultures there are. There's basically, like I said before, an introduction of so many cultures that Alfred Peet has brought to us. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my culture. My parents are both immigrants from the Philippines. My father served 20 years in World War II, following the footsteps of my late grandfather, who was a guerrilla. Sorry, my father served 20 years in the Navy. My grandfather was a guerrilla. Let's get this. My mom was a teacher in her city of, thank you, in her city of Angono. There's this huge thing called the Gigantes Festival. And every year, what that is, it's just this huge festival full of lights, color, festivals, unity. It's just a lot of beauty and a lot of food. Like a lot of food. I mean, I can't even tell you. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Filipino party, but they will knock a hole down in the walls just so the table will reach through. Oh my gosh. One of the best desserts there is called ube. Ube. Here you go. Love you, Patrick. All right. Ube is basically a purple yam, and what in the purple yam is, it's basically a purple yam that's boiled down, mixed with condensed milk and evaporated milk as well. It's served at a lot of social settings, basically kind of like how Ethiopians used to drink coffee in social settings back when coffee was first discovered. So what I'm going to do is get each of you double shots. If I can just be possible, if you guys can just clear some of these real quick. What I'm going to be serving you guys today is an ube con panna. Inside of the ube con panna is going to be, of course, the shasta Ethiopian fancy. Inside of the whipped cream, it's going to be a mixture of this ube concentrate along with the ube powder and condensed milk. I did strain it and I did pre-prepare it because it's not good. I don't have 30 minutes, sorry. Okay. Do you guys like that? What's my time? Thank you. You guys ever seen the color purple? Perfect. So I'm going to do a shot of espresso in each cup. If you're wondering about the banana leaves, traditionally we serve all of our food on banana leaves. So I kind of want to play along that. What is my time? Thank you. So these flowers, we actually was outside of our hotel room. I want to give a shout out to my friend Drew in the audience. He picked them and they yelled at him, but Was it not worth it? So on top of this, I'm actually sprinkling some coconut sugar. The overall flavor profile for ube is going to be kind of like a lavender floral taste, along with like hints of vanilla and the nuttiness of a pistachio. So that's going to complement a lot of like the flavor notes inside of the Ethiopian fancy very, very well. So I just do need you guys to reach over if that's possible. I'll send this to you. You guys enjoy. And for you guys enjoy. Thank you. So before I cheers you guys, I'm going to say the words, Kung may tinani may aanihim. What that means is, it was my uncle's favorite Filipino proverb. It basically stood for, if you plant, you will harvest. He used to be a farmer until there was this big flood and it carried all of his cattle away. Yeah, no one's laughing. Okay, but yeah, what that means is if we plant, we will harvest. Kind of like how we are harvesting the seeds that Alfred Peet planted in 1966. So I really hope you guys enjoy as I wipe up all my confetti over here. What is my time? 14:43. Judges, I really want to thank you for today. And with like that, I'd say time.
Wow. That was amazing. Thank you, Jeffrey. I hope you can feel the love in the room. I just want to say I'm blown away so far today. Our competitors have done an amazing job, and it just gets better and better. So I had to take a moment to say that. It's pretty amazing. So we are going to enjoy a tasting by Stephen. But first, John Coletta wanted to come up for a few moments. Come on down. Welcome our fearless leader.
Hello, guys. Hey, first of all, just thank you, everyone, for today. And Jeffrey, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the craft of what you do. Thank you. You're amazing. Amazing. And what I want to say is how wonderful that we are the original craft coffee company, you guys. Damn it. Original craft coffee company, right? And we will never lose doing this. I promise you that, right, Sean? Doing this craft is something we will never take out of the business. And one of the things that we talk about as a team and that we just promised to our board is that in 2019, we're going to be obsessed with craft. I promise you that. In 2018, we were obsessed with things like hard-boiled eggs and Southwest Traders and all these things. And I promise you in 2019, we're going to be obsessed with craft. So thank you for that. And so all I want to do is just recognize quickly, I think great cultures do things like this. This is one of our leading cultural events. And great cultures recognize each other. And we do cheers events, right? We're always doing the cheers. And so I've got 4 cheers to give out today. And the first one is for Jamie. Because Jamie... Where are you, Jamie? Where's Jamie? Where's Jamie? Where is she? Oh, okay. Well, anyways, what she does to put this on is amazing, and she provides a great setting for all this and for the experience. Couldn't do it without her. She's reliable. There you go. Thank you, Jamie. Oh, yeah. Get back to work, will you? So, and so the next up I want to thank is, where's Ross? Wonderful Rockin' Ross. There's Ross. Come on up. There's a lot of big things going on in the company. And one of the things we talk about is we are going to be, give me a hug, man. Great cultures hug too, by the way. One of the things we are going to do is we're going to be obsessed with quality in 2019, and we're also going to be obsessed with providing convenience that more and more of the guests want. And so what you did with Order Ahead, what you did to sort of pave the way, and we'll find our balance in it. We have found ways to keep our soul and deliver convenience. And what you did was enabled the recent 10 stores to roll out. So everything you've done has paved the way, brother. So thank you. It's going to be big. So thank you. Thank you, man. Yep. Yep. Next up, Craig. Where are you? Craig, our regional leader. Sorry. Great cultures hug.
I'm here, bro.
That came easy, didn't it? Yeah, he's a hugger. He's a hugger and a fighter. So this guy, what he's done, talk about taking on a region for the team and stepping up and taking on a geographic span that involves commute and sacrifice of self and family. And he's such a team-oriented guy. He's just meant the world to me and the team. So I just want to say a huge thank you. Means the world. Means the world. No. And by the way, his results are kicking ass. So, you know. Yeah. Okay, and then the last up I want to recognize is, one of the things cultures do is great events like campaigns. And we're going to start, we've always had sort of contests and campaigns and giving away T-shirts and little things. And one of the things we learned how to do from the JAB ecosystem is have these great big campaigns that mean more. We talk about things more. We celebrate more. We reward more. We just had the Bean campaign. And Marky and team kicked ass and knocked it out of the park. So where's Marky? Yep. Amazing. And who says you can't? I mean, it's all the way on the East Coast. Who says you can't kick ass on beans? Huh? Far away from here. So thank you. How much ass kicking? Quote it. Your growth. Your bean growth. Sales per 100 growth. It was ridiculous. I forget. Over 30% every week. Unbelievable. Huge. Thank you. So that's it. Just for cheers, we wanted to recognize. I think it's real important for the culture. And thanks to everybody for what you're doing. I appreciate it. Okay.
All right, folks. Here we go. Talk about making an entrance. Here we go. All right.
Can I raise this up a little bit?
Maybe. No, maybe I'll. Yeah. Well, the barista set a high bar and John set a high bar, but I thought I'd celebrate through song. So that's not going to. No. This is Alfred Peet's guitar. Do you guys know that? No, we got called the entertainment crew today. So I don't know. I'm not going to sing your song. Don't worry. We do have, maybe later at the bar. We do have some coffee coming around, and I won't make it a surprise or anything for you guys. We've got some press pots of Sulawesi coming around, and Sulawesi is a coffee that probably goes under the radar every now and then. But I think you all know one or two customers that are crazy about Sulawesi. But obviously that island was in the news this week, and I kind of just wanted to talk about the miracle of coffee and the fact that any of these beans get to us every single week. Can anyone give me a ballpark number of how many pounds of coffee beans we're roasting a week at Peet's, roughly?
So what do we need it to be? A little brighter?
Definitely a little brighter. I mean, it's okay if the.
Well, I could do this. I went to exposure. Do that. You do that with it.
Yeah. And then the people are looking a little pinkish.
On mine, okay.
Yeah.
So
Maybe if there's a combination of that exposure plus a different white balance setting.
okay.
Now I'm gonna go look on the. Oh, and the gentleman who's competing next is this tall guy with the apron.
Okay.
He's very tall.
I found the color temperature button. To white balance, and then I go to K, and I can select.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, that's not bad. I never play with it. I'm always on auto. When I use my DSLR, I tend to play around with that lot. But yeah, you said it was a little more pink, so I went in the more warm direction.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see something.
Does it match?
It's getting a little more matchy.
Okay.
Let me look at it.
Sure.
Do you mind standing there for a second? Yeah, that looks good. That looks
Okay.
real good.
Why don't you take a look at it back there? All right, I'm not going to turn it off. I'm just going to leave it. I've got 80 minutes of battery. So I'm fine. Yeah, so we've
peers, and I obviously know all of my district leader peers in the Atlantic, but I have felt incredibly supported by two of my peers that I have not even met till today, who have been really supportive for the last 3 months. So Deanna and James, I have some cards that I wrote for you. They have been tremendously helpful in keeping my confidence up. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Oh.
I wish I didn't have to do a microphone, but so I have a cheers card for Shauna. So this is for passion. I have the pleasure to be in her store a lot because it's my local store and it's always such an amazing experience. And I was in there recently while she was doing some training for one of our newest leaders here, Chrissy Hitman. And we had so much fun as she made us get on the bar and do a throwdown. And I had so much fun, and her store is just full of passion. So thank you so much. And while I'm up here, I have one more for Monica Reed. So I've had the pleasure to be on the TA team with Monica, and I absolutely love working with her. And now everyone has the pleasure of her being on a new team, and she just gives 110% to everything she does. And we're so lucky to have her here at Peet. So.
Oh, you have one. See, you're up next. You confused me.
Oh, I guess I am. I got a cheers for one of my peers, and this goes to Bill Donovan. So Bill just recently has taken on another role in the Atlantic. So not only is he a DL, but he's also our recruiter right now, and having to open up some new stores coming quick. Really stressed about that, and Bill has just done an amazing job to make me feel like we're going to do this and everything's going to be okay. So thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. It is going to be okay. Yeah, we got it. We got it. So before we kick off our last competitor, I just wanted to say one more time a really big thank you. Training department, ops, Jamie and Emily, everyone in this building, coffee and tea departments, L&D, have played just a huge part in the path to getting here today. And it was a lot of work. So one last time, let's just thank everybody. And we're going to have a video about our next competitor, and then Mark and Will come up and tell you a little bit about him. So handing it back to Joe, my friend Joe.
My first experience with specialty coffee was really Peet's Coffee. That's when I first understood. My first experience with specialty coffee was really Peet's Coffee. That's when I first understood what makes a great cup of coffee and learned everything I ever wanted to know, and I'm still learning from Peet's. My first coffee I tried from Peet's was an Americano black, and it showed me how this specialty coffee coming from Peet's differentiated from coffee you might have at home or at a diner. I understood how I could achieve different flavors and what these flavors meant and what different brewing processes meant. I would like to think that I surprise and delight my customers through knowledge and education, letting them know why they taste what they do. And see, it's as fascinating as it is to me as it is to them. Peet's really fulfills my passion for creation. Beyond just beverage creation, I get to create an experience with customers when I create something that they enjoy. I would say the keys to being the best Peet's barista are always tasting and pushing yourself to find new flavor and new techniques of achieving new flavor. Always trying new things. I would say my barista superpower is my knowledge, my ability to educate people on what they're tasting and why they're tasting it. And that's something that's really exciting to me, and I like to believe is really exciting to everybody else in my store.
It's true. It's state motto. And we're here to introduce Matt. And some of my earliest memories of Matt are just, they're from the Ashburn store, which is a super busy drive-through, right? And it's just like chaos going all the time. Just sitting in there, and my sensors are going crazy, looking at everything. And Matt just kept coming through the chaos and just giving me perfect traditional cappuccinos. Just one trad cap after another. It's like, you got to chase this, you got to try this. Tell me what you think. And I was just like, how does he do that? Like, in the midst of all of this, I was just super impressed. I always have been. Not surprised at all that he's here, and just very proud. And let Mark say a few words about him too.
Thank you, Will. In the the last 10 months that I've gotten to know Matt, his first day he came to was like, hey, I'm Matt. Here are the rules and regulations from last year's PBC. Can you read this and can we talk about it tomorrow, because I want to be here next year? And I was like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, let's do this. So getting to know him, just his passion that he comes with in every day. He's like, just, hey, Mark, here's a trad cap, try it. What do you think? Every day, no matter what, he's always looking to the future. So here's Matt.
All right. Okay. Judges are ready? All right. Matthew, you ready? All right. All right. Time. Good afternoon. It's really great to be here with you today. In our coffee bars, we often talk about flavor, origin, and how the two are related. Yet I often find that people new to the world of coffee are timid to explore that relationship between flavors in the cup and the precise processes that create those flavors. You see, it's processes in things like farming, roasting, and brewing that bring about desirable flavor. And it's these processes that really determine how great our coffee can be. I'd like to talk to you a bit about these today. So welcome. My name is Matt Hollins, and today we'll be tasting a unique single origin bean from Yemen, Arabian Mocha Sinani. Known to be tricky, less forgiving, and difficult to dial in its espresso. But when dialed in correctly, Sinani produces one of the most well-balanced shots, delivering dark cocoa undertones, a fruit-forward wininess, and a complex sweetness and spice. Go ahead and open up to the first page of those reference books there, and follow along with me as we explore the flavors of Sinani. All right, so this bean is made up of high quality, ancient and local varietals, which are going to offer us a complex sweetness and aroma, while occasionally delivering dark cocoa undertones, which are then amplified through Peet's deep roasting style. This bean is also grown at high elevations with fast drainage. This is really important because it's going to slow that maturation of the bean and provide time for complex sugars to develop. These are the complex sugars that are responsible for Sinani's pungent and wine-like spice that you'll taste soon here. Lastly, it's a naturally processed coffee. And what that generally does is impart a sweet and fruity flavor, and unique farming practices in Yemen, such as allowing the cherries to dry on the trees and then holding these dry cherries for multiple crop years before further processing. Well, that's going to work to impart a fruit-forward, winey flavor. And that's thanks to the fermentation of those complex sugars that we talked about before. So when tasting your espresso, look for those dark cocoa undertones to be tapered off and followed by a fruit-forward wininess, all to be completed by a spicy finish.
Something to note is that I am drying my portafilters today. This is to reduce any channeling of water inside the portafilter and ensure an even extraction across our coffee bed. See, being a single origin, any over or under extraction is especially prominent in Senani. And for that reason, I'm also pulling all of my shots at 28 seconds today. I only ask that you please stir these a little bit more than your average espresso. We got to recombine all those quickly separating elements of Senani. Go. Enjoy. Right, there you are. Patrick, enjoy. All right, so now that we've explored the flavors of Senani through espresso, why not add another variable? Milk. You see, in our coffee bars, the vast majority of our espresso beverages contain milk. And it's no wonder, milk is delicious. With the addition of water, we find that milk is mainly made up of lactose, milk fat, and protein, which is going to work to add a sweetness, a creaminess, and a foam structure respectively. But milk will also manipulate the flavors of our espresso. Allow me to explain. Go ahead and open up to the second page of those reference books there. We find that with the addition of milk, those dark cocoa undertones are sustained and give us milk chocolate flavor. That fruit-forward wininess is sweetened, giving us flavors similar to dark berries. And that spicy finish, while still there, becomes more of a muted spice, altogether giving us a well-balanced cappuccino with flavors of milk chocolate and berry, and just a hint of spice. I'll have that right out for you. Go. Rosa, enjoy.
Lift away. Past the gate, desert keeps falling.
Or Loretta, enjoy. Enjoy. All right. So now that we've explored those flavors there, I want to bring it back to the dry and arid climate of Yemen, where the farmers and the plants struggle and work strenuously to produce these cherries. I found it important to tell the story of that hard work through my signature beverage, and so I've done so by spending hard work and time when sourcing and crafting my ingredients. Go ahead and flip to the last page of your reference book now. What I've come up with is a rather simple double shot cortado that highlights and plays off of the already existing flavors in Sinani. To represent that dark cocoa undertone you get, I'm pairing it with some meticulously selected 70% dark chocolate. To highlight that complex sweetness and spice, I'm suspending cinnamon throughout the milk. And for that fruit-forward wininess, I've created my own raspberry syrup using hand-picked raspberries, making sure to only pick the darker berries because these were the berries that were allowed to mature on the vine and contained a flavor of wine, very similar to that in Sinani. So separate, these ingredients are great, but when brought together, they create a well-balanced, delicious beverage that highlights the best of Sinani. I'm incredibly excited to share them with you. I'll have it right out. Thank you. So my only instruction for you when drinking this beverage is to take a piece of that dark chocolate, really let it coat your palate, and then take 2 to 3 sips of that raspberry spice cortado. Rosa, enjoy. Look right up. Enjoy. And Patrick, enjoy. Thank you. All right, everybody, thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoyed the flavors of Sonani as much as I do and enjoyed the signature beverage. That's going to be time. Cool.
Thank you so much, Matt. That was absolutely amazing. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I definitely feel honored to even just be part of this today because those guys just did us so proud. They have shown poise, composure, knowledge, dedication. They have done a lot of hard work to get up to this point. So I just, like I said earlier, this is one of my favorite days of the year because this is what makes us different. And one last round of applause for all our competitors. So while our amazing judges do all the tallying on all that serious stuff, we are going to have a tasting. But before that, Luis wants to come up and just add a few words of wisdom.
Yes, thank you. Well, words of wisdom is a very loose phrase, but I would like a big round of applause for Trish. She did a fantastic job as the MC. Thank you very much, Trish. And then I don't have cheers cards written, but I definitely want to make sure I do celebrate a couple of cheers cards for people, or give them cheers, actually, vocal cards, I guess, for, I guess, a very special feat that kind of, unfortunately, because of IT situation went a little bit unnoticed, but it was definitely going to be, it was brought to our attention by the fearless leader that Shelly is. This last week, if you guys knew, 773 Market broke the all-time weekly sales record at Peet's with almost $56,000 in weekly sales. So Jeff, Shelly, come on up and take a bow. Where's Shelly at? Get over here. I did a private congratulations to Jeff, and I said, yeah. I privately congratulated Jeff, and he says, you know what, when you do $56,000, $45,000 is a breeze. I'm like, all right, well, keep it going. So, I mean, you think about it, 10,000 transactions, 10,000 opportunities to make someone happy with a smile on their face with a cup of coffee. So thank you very much for your guys' hard work. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Pretty impressive. That was definitely worth stopping for. Annie, come on down. So Annie's going to share what her amazing tasting is. We get to go outside for it,
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna get to go outside again. Feel some fresh air. It's very muggy today. It's a little hot in here, but thank you. I know. I'm good. Thank you. So today, I just want to say thank you all for being here today.
lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. We let the story begin. We're going out on our first date. You and me is thrifty, so go all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up your plate. We talk for hours and hours about the sweet and the sour and how your family's doing okay. And even getting a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. And I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. Come on, be my baby, come on. 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 I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling.
Loretta, 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 Loretta. Come on. She's dug in.
Woo! 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Sing birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Loretta. Happy birthday to you. All right, so the moment is here.
It is.
One last thank you to those of you who traveled far and wide, because there's a lot of you. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to hand it off to Jamie to make the big announcement.
Let's do it.
Go for it.
Can I get all 4 competitors to come up here and can we give them another round of applause? So we have Sean from Peet's Lafayette, Jesus from Peet's 450 Sansom, Jeffrey from Peet's Torrey Highlands, and last but not least, we have Matt Hollins from Ashburn, all the way from Virginia. Thanks, guys. I've been doing the barista competition been involved in the finals for 4 or 5 years now, and this is probably the nicest group of finalists we've had. they all really just care about our craft and care about damn good coffee. And thank you for what you all contribute each and every day for our company. You guys are truly rock stars, and we appreciate you guys so much. But only one can be the Peet's Barista Champion for 2018. And that barista is, drum roll, Matt Hollins from Peet's Ashburn. Congratulations. Do you want to say anything real quick, Matt, before I turn it over?
I'd like to thank all of my managers, my assistant manager, Mark, Kristen, my coworkers, friends, family, and the Washington Capitals.
One more round of applause for all of our competitors today. At this point, I would love to turn it over to John Coletta.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, everyone. You guys are the poster boys of all this. You guys are perfect. And I want to market the hell out of you. You're amazing. It really is amazing. So thanks to everyone. We do need more females in this next year, I'll say. Sorry, we'll do that. Yeah. One out for the gals. But listen, I just want to say, first of all, hey, the man upstairs, Alfred Peet, let's just recognize him, a toast to him. He made all this possible. I think we should always remember him. So here's to the man. And I just want to say this is the perfect way to kick off October. October is all about the craft, the quality. You'll hear some stuff on speed. Screw speed without the quality, okay? So Jess, this is the perfect way to kick it off, and a huge thanks to everyone, okay? See you Friday. Thanks, everyone.
And then don't forget, you guys, we want to get some feedback afterwards, so make sure you connect with your judges before you leave.
All right, eat, drink, and be merry.
No hurry, we're here. Where is